It is madness, there are cars everywhere, and I have come all this way to see this particular car.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.
Hi and welcome back, and we are today at Caffeine in the Machine, and I've come all this way to see this particular car and meet the owner, Jordan. Jordan, thank you so much for bringing this down.
No worries.
So, why this car? Tell me how you've ended up with the colour, the wheels. This is all your own design?
Yeah,
or?
so the car was originally red anyway. The gold alloys came on the car. Like I said, I wasn't necessarily a big fan of red cars, and I find gold tacky. But just the black, red and gold all work good together with the little accents that are around the car.
Yeah, I mean, this is very special, isn't it? I think you've absolutely nailed this. I seem to remember from our conversations, you bought this car as part of a part sale, wasn't it? You were selling another car. And
yeah, so I had a Mark 1 S3 for sale, and the guy approached me and said, would you be interested in doing a swap deal? He takes the Mark 1 S3, I take this. It needed a little bit of work, but I was willing to do the deal and work with him, so this is where I've ended up.
And why didn't you go down the GT Turbo route? I'm just curious.
So this is a full GT Turbo kit, just with a different front bumper. So everything else is standard GT Turbo, apart from the front bumper.
I've got to ask, one of the first things that I saw when you sent me the pictures through, because we've been talking for like 6 months about this car, the yellow lights, you're going for the French look.
Yeah, I mean, they're just quirky, aren't they? I mean, I know you see them now on like newer BMWs and stuff like that. I mean, there's one in front of us here with them on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's always been the French theme. If something works, they say don't fix it. The French say, oh bollocks to that, we'll change it how we want it. That's pretty much how everything works on this car. Anything that anybody's ever done throughout history with cars and how they work, French have gone, nah, we'll do it our own way. The hub assembly is the easiest hub assembly I've ever had to deal with in my life. 3 bolts and the hub comes off.
Really?
Well, 4 drive shaft nut, your nut for underneath on your wishbone, and then the 2 into the coilovers. So easy.
So this is like a big Meccano set for you?
Yeah, it's the next step up from working on Legos. That's pretty much how it is.
So are you going to take me out for a drive in this?
Yes, I will be doing it.
I was hoping you were going to say it, because we came a long way today, and if we couldn't get this out, I would be devastated. So should we take this out for a spin now?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so why this car? Why, like, okay, it may sound like a bit of a silly question, because I love Renault 5s. Let me close this window. So, why this car?
Well, it come to me through a trade deal. I wasn't necessarily looking for a Renault 5. I had a Mark 1 S3 that had done pretty much everything you could do to it until you had to go forged internals, and at the time I didn't really have the money for that, so I put it up for sale, and it'd been up for sale for a couple of weeks, and the guy approached me with this car in trade and said, are you open to doing a trade deal on the car? Like, I'll give you mine, I'd take yours. So I didn't really know a lot about these other than my mum had had one and my dad had had one. That's all I really knew about it. So then ended up getting down there. It was awful when I first got there. It was all.
It's never a pristine deal, is it?
No, I had Red Dwarf all painted on the dashboard. Had Smeg head on. It had Smeg head on the seats. It had universal arches. Self-tapped into the quarters. It was honestly terrible.
Hey, I'm a Red Dwarf fan. There's nothing wrong with that.
Not my age. So I said, look, yeah, I'll be interested with cash my way. Take the car, blah, 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 blah. And it was unfortunate because he was really ill with cancer at the time, and his reason for getting rid of this was that he couldn't finish it, and he wanted a fast car for the remaining months of his life. So that's how it came to be in my possession for a trade deal on Facebook Marketplace.
Right, so you said it was rough.
Yeah.
So how rough are we talking? You said about like the drawings on the inside, and but like
So the
Like-
throttle cable was JB welded to where it needed to be. It wasn't like bolted on or like a grub screw holding it. It was JB welded.
That's held together with hopes and dreams,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Right, okay. And you know what? I've never used JB Weld. All these years, I've never used it. And every time I've considered it, somebody said to me, if you need to use it, you're not doing the job properly.
I mean, it worked. I got it home, you know what I mean? So it worked for me.
Yeah. So what about the rust, the engine, like the interior, like?
So yeah, the interior had a Monaco interior, which is better than a standard campus interior. But they had no bolsters, so I was still sliding about on the leather seats. So I thought, right, we're gonna have to get rid of these. So then I found these for 250 quid on Facebook. These were Rover 800 Recaros, so I had the Vitesse ones, Vitesse. And I found a rear bench out of a Rover and had the rear stitching put into mine out of there to match the seats.
Yeah.
The leather work was already done, to be honest with you. I just got a new dash and sprayed that black. And yeah, other than that, the interior, apart from the Smeg head seats and the Red Dwarf dashboard, was pretty. Obviously, I uprated the steering wheel to the Sparko one, but this is actually off a Volvo 460 that I bought, and I preferred the old style wheel than the new one, so I swapped this to this car and put like the original wheel back on the 460. The engine, it was rough, but until I give it a little lick of paint here and there, and it was fine. And I put a 1.1 head on the standard 1.4 block, that upped the compression a little bit. So it was about 100 brake or something like that for a long period of time, and that was fun because I could kick its head in because it was NA.
But you don't have that engine in this anymore, do you?
No. So this is a 2 litre 16 valve. I mean, we'll give it a bit of a drop it into second while we're here. This is a 2 litre 16 valve, and it sounds well, it goes well, and it's in keeping with the French theme. It's a French engine that is just perfect.
That is just, it's got a great feel to it, but it doesn't feel like it's going to kill you. It feels like it's the sort of amount of power that you could drive it hard, almost to the limit, and enjoy it.
I'd go as far to say that it's 170 now, and I think it just needs a little bit more, maybe 200. I'm not sort of going stupid with 200, but 200 with ITBs to me would be perfect. Like that perfect power to weight ratio. I mean, it weighs 850 kg wet.
Yeah.
So I mean, with us in it probably weighs a bit more, but still.
I mean, that totally makes sense. I mean, I've been in cars before where people have forced like small cars and they force 300, 400, 500 horsepower in it, but it gets to a point that you can't use it.
Yeah, I mean, this spins up, if you're in first, it spins up quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I probably will. I think with an LSD and 200 brake, that'd be perfect.
Right.
That'd be honestly absolutely perfect.
So this is still an evolving car then?
Yeah, they're never done, are they? Do you know what I mean?
No. I mean, I'm asking a question I know the answer
yeah,
to.
they're never done.
So where did you get the kit from?
So it's just pieced together through people online on the forums and stuff like that. So the wings are from one person, the bumpers from another person, the rear bumpers from it, side skirts are from somebody else. So it's all different bits and pieces throughout the community that's been put together to make the kit that's on here now.
And the wheels?
Renault turbos, beautiful. They were already on the car when I got it.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
What colour were they?
They were gold.
They were gold?
Yeah, so I find gold tacky for one, and I don't really like red cars.
You know what? I'm kind of with you on it. I don't really like gold either, but then as you saw probably a few months ago, I just put gold wheels on my car.
Yeah.
And do you know what actually inspired me to do it was the Renault Clio Williams.
Yes. Yeah.
Of
With
the
blue,
90s, which
blue
was
as well.
with the blue, which was the car to have. And I was like, and when I put the gold wheels on the black car, I was like, this has just made it. This has transformed it. And when you sent me pictures of your car, because we've been talking for 6 months.
Yeah,
now.
a while now.
We've been talking for a while. It's taken us a while to get together. But I'm so glad we have, because this thing is awesome. But yeah, the wheels on this are just incredible. So So I've got some pictures to share that you sent me that shows like the build. So did you have any complications? Why did you go for the 2-litre 16 valve 172 engine, wasn't it?
Yeah, 172. Yeah.
So why that engine?
Purely based off everyone else's experiences on putting a 1.4 turbo in these. People, they're very temperamental. They overheat. They flood. People know that throughout years of owning Renault 5s, and then people do the 1.8 Volvo swap, the turbo one. Is that 1.7, 1.8?
Oh yeah, I know.
V18s.
Yeah.
Again, that's engines the same age as the the Renault turbo one. So again, headaches arise with them. They are a bit more reliable than the standard 1.4, like the CJ ones. But again, people still get headaches with them. So it was purely out of reliability, parts accessibility. Like I paid 1,200 quid for a Clio, and it come with an engine and an interior. So I sold the interior and other bits off it. So the engine alone sets me about 500 quid maybe.
Yeah. So you've got the engine and gearbox from the Clio. ECU, is that still stock?
Yeah. Well, you have to get it sent away to get broken. So then you can. This is out of a Renault 5 swap Clio already. So it's been mapped. So it was basically just. I sent mine off, they sent me an ECU back that is just basically a flash map for a 172 in a 5.
Yeah.
Plug and play.
So, okay, so other complications, engine mounting brackets, drive shafts.
Drive shafts, standard campus ones.
Standard campus one?
Yes.
What, onto the gearbox?
Yeah, straight on. The 172 share, so underneath, they share a lot of similarities. So the splines on the gearbox are exactly the same as what the campus gearbox was running.
What, and the length was the right?
Exactly, everything was the same.
What?
Yeah.
So it's almost like somebody in the 80s planned this for 20 years later.
Same with the Williams stuff. A Clio Williams underneath is one of these basically, just with a different engine in it. So the fuel tank that I've got in this is out of a Clio Williams, purposely because the older fuel tanks suffer with fuel surges through sloshing, so this runs a baffle to stop them surges coming through.
Yeah. Okay, so the transplant on this was relatively easy.
Yeah.
And have you documented it so other people can find it, so they can see how you did it?
Yeah, it's on my YouTube. It's not necessarily in depth. It was sort of, it basically snowballed. What was an engine swap turned into taking the subframe out, taking the axle out, and then doing the underneath. So what started off as documenting it pretty well sort of ended up bits and pieces here and there. Not only because I couldn't be arsed filming, it was the fact that you'll know yourself, setting up the cameras and getting the angles. What turns from a 2-hour job turns into a 6-hour job because you're trying to get all the bits and pieces.
And all the editing.
So
and yeah.
I didn't have time, to be honest with you. I wanted to get the car back out for summer, and it was either film the car's process and not have it out last year, or show
blast
bits and pieces and just absolutely blast through it. And that's what I did basically, just so I could get 4 or 5 months out of the car last year before I had to put it away again for winter.
So anybody who's watching this who likes the idea that you've taken a Renault 5 and done a 2-litre conversion to it from 172, is it an easy conversion?
I am a novice when it comes to mechanics, so if I could do it, surely anybody else can do it. Do you know what I mean? It's not. There's a group on WhatsApp I got added to when I first said I was going to do the swap. That there's a few of us. So if you was planning on doing this and you needed help, the lads in the group chat have been more than happy to answer your questions. I mean, I was on their case for 12 months, stockpiling parts on what I needed. How do I do this? Do I need this? Why do I need this? What to do? And they're there 24/7. They're on like speed dial. You put a message in, more than half an hour later, someone's answered it, and you know the question.
Group chats are so good like that. I've found it with a couple of the other different, kit car groups and the DeLorean Owners Club and stuff like that. And they're so willing to support each other, especially if you're doing something a little bit unusual.
Yeah.
They actually genuinely want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
I mean, this, I could see from the pictures you sent me how clean this car was, but until I actually saw it in the flesh, I had no idea what a job you'd done with it. This is extraordinary, and you should be very proud of it.
Thank you very much. It is my baby. I mean, I never had an intention of keeping the car for so long, it started off as, oh, just do bits to it, make it nice and sell it on, and then it spiraled into what it is now, and I'll never get rid of it sort of thing.
Is this the sort of like, they're going to bury me in this car
Yeah,
sort of thing?
When I first built it, I had a guy message me wanting to buy it before I put any miles on it. And he said, how much do you want for it? And I said, it's not for sale. He was like, no, I'm seriously interested, throw a number at me, like, and I'll come back. And I was like, the number's like, it's up there, it's not my money. He goes, well, how much do you want? I said, 35 grand. He said, oh, it's stupid money that, like,
you said throw a number at me.
Yeah, so I said 35 grand. He said, no, I'm not paying that. I said, right, well, then. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a question of we're bartering. I want 35 grand. I know to you it's not necessarily worth that, but the parts that I've added up over time on invoices, I tallied it up. I've spent 10 grand over 10 months getting to where it is now.
Not including labour.
Not including
Which
labour,
people
no.
forget, that if you're paying a garage, you're going to be paying them 60, 70 quid an hour.
Yeah, so I said to him, I said, you've not been there. I remember there was a point through winter where the engine wasn't in, no lines run, no nothing, and I had a knot wheel underneath the car, and I was grinding it back, and I was thinking, what the f have I done here? I've bitten off more than I can chew. But then you swap from what that was, and then you can just drop it into third now and just... That noise just makes it all worth it. And the memories of, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of shows. I built it to be a show car, and I love going to shows and meeting people. But the memories for me are driving down with my mates early morning, going grabbing something shitty to eat off a crap service station somewhere, the smell of fuel, and just turning out on days like this, doing stuff with people like you. It's just...
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm over the moon that you agreed to come along. I mean, I'm very much like you. I think one of my greatest, or one of my most pleasurable memories of the DeLorean rebuild, which, as you know, is still ongoing, is seeing my kids sat in the car, wrapped in blankets, with their tablets, and they're just watching cartoons while I'm working in the back of the car, and they just wanted to be with me. And that's exactly like going out with your buddies and stuff like that. That's the bit. It won't be meeting people at shows and it's the main thing that I'll remember. It'll be those little moments. But you know, it is lovely to take your cars to somewhere where people appreciate them. Well, look, Jordan, thank you so much for bringing this down. This is such a special car.
No, you're welcome.
And I'm truly blown away. The photos do not do it justice, and yeah, I hope you keep this car for many years to come.
Yeah, definitely. I'll get buried in it, or if not, pass it down to my kids.
Yeah, I think that's a good move. I think more people should be aiming to do that with their cars.
Yeah.
See if you can keep the ones you've got and then move on to your next project as opposed to selling them.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that was a lot of fun. Jordan's an amazing guy, and the car is such an epic build, and I'm really looking forward to doing more of these. If you've enjoyed watching the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you'd like to be a guest on the channel, you can find the email address in the description of this video. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Bye.